How do vocal cords work and what do mine look like? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, my name is Maurice Goodwin. I am a speech language pathologist who specializes in voice disorders and a singing voice teacher. A majority of my day and my energy are spent thinking about how the vocal cords work and how we can get them to work more efficiently. In previous videos, I've talked about how different disorders or different problems can arise with the vocal cords and how that impacts someone's life. And in this video, we are going to take a look at vocal cords and talk about how they work. Now, if you go online and look up some information, you might see some people calling them vocal cords and some folks calling them vocal folds. But really, they are the same thing. Vocal cords and vocal folds are the same thing, just a different word that we use to describe them. So let's get started. Our vocal cords live within the larynx, and the larynx is made up of tissue and cartilage located right around the center of your throat. If you were to set your hand on the outside part of your neck and cough or swallow, you might feel your larynx move. If you were to hum, you can not only hear the sound of your voice, but also potentially feel vibration on the outside of your neck. That vibration is coming from the vibration of your vocal folds. There are two vocal folds, one on the left side and one on the right side. They sit horizontally in the neck and they open and close in the back or the posterior. When your vocal folds close or come together, they vibrate to create sound. And vocal folds vibrate pretty fast. For lower voices, they vibrate anywhere from like 80 to 120 times a second. For higher voices, they typically vibrate anywhere from 160 to 200 times a second. But of course, there are voices that fall outside of that norm. And when we're singing, we definitely get into the extremes of vibration. So anywhere from 8 to 900 or even 1,000 times a second, the vocal cords are vibrating to make the sounds that we hear. All right, let's get started. The exam that we're doing is called a rigid laryngeal exam. It's a camera that goes over the back of the tongue and looks down into the larynx. Once we get the video started, I'll orient you to the picture. So these are my vocal folds or my vocal cords. I'm going to move this up a little bit. These are my vocal cords here. And when I take a breath, that's the perfect time to pause. So on the right side of the screen here is my left vocal cord. On the left side of the screen is my right vocal cord. On the bottom of the screen, that's the anterior portion, and it correlates with that little bump that we call the Adam's apple. And then in the top part of the screen where the vocal cords are apart, that is the posterior portion. So once again, they sit horizontally in the neck. And so we'll orient one more time. There's the left vocal cord that's on the right side of the screen. The right vocal cord is on the left side of the screen. The anterior portion is down here at the bottom. That also correlates here with the front of the throat. And then the posterior portion where they open and close is at the top part of the screen. And so you'll see when I press play, the vocal cords are going to come together. And then because of the type of light that we're using, it's called a stroboscopic light, you'll actually be able to see vibration of the vocal cords. Now, this is not real-time vibration of the vocal cords. Once again, the vocal folds, especially at this pitch, are maybe vibrating about 100 times a second. And so this light source helps us slow that down so we can see what's going on. When I elevate in pitch, like I did just there, you'll see the vocal cords elongate a little bit. They literally get longer to create higher pitch. Let's rewind just a little bit so you can see that again. And of course, that's an example of me going into a falsetto. of a higher head voice quality. So it's an important thing that we saw just there. To go higher in pitch, the vocal cords are stretched and made longer. This thins out the vocal cords and helps them vibrate a little faster. And in a moment, you'll see what happens when I go to make low pitch. The vocal cords are going to get shorter and a little bit thicker. They will vibrate slower. That's an example of what we call inhalation phonation, where you suck in air, and in our field, it helps us get a good look at the edge of the vocal cords. Let's just play the whole thing again, and this time, instead of me talking through it, I'll just have you watch the whole video. Now, there are some additional things that you may have noticed on that exam. For instance, if you were to rewind and look, you can see these moments where I have this like mucus-like stuff on my vocal cords and I have to clear my throat to get it off. That's exactly what it is. It's mucus, it's phlegm, it's saliva. That's actually sometimes what you feel when it feels like you have to clear your throat, that feeling. You may also notice that at different pitches of my voice, either the vocal cords don't close completely or the edges look a little bit irregular. And for me and my larynx, that totally falls within normal and what I would expect. For anybody out there watching, feel free to use the video if you ever want to show someone what vocal cords look like. For anybody who teaches maybe about voice or uses laryngeal anatomy videos, also feel free to use that video so you can show people what the vocal cords look like. Once again, my name is Maurice Goodwin. I'm a speech pathologist and voice teacher. If you have any questions about what you saw, feel free to leave them in the comments. You can reach out directly to me. Look forward to talking again soon. Bye.